I have spent my whole life developing the ability to be alone without feeling lonely. I'm no longer dependent on other people to be happy, and I believe that this is one of the most important skills that you can learn in your life. In this video, I will explain exactly how I learned to deal with loneliness and how it has completely transformed my life. I just got back home from a 2-week road trip where I drove this car around in beautiful Norwegian nature, being completely by myself and just enjoying my own company. And after coming back home from that trip, I have realized that for most people, doing something like that is simply not possible, because most people are really scared and overwhelmed by the thought of being in their own company for an extended period of time. And if that is how you feel right now watching this video, I think that you will benefit a lot from watching the video all the way to the end. And that is because there are countless benefits to mastering the art of being alone without feeling lonely. It really is a game changer for your mental and emotional well-being. And personally, I have experienced benefits like, for example, improved self-awareness, where because I'm able to spend time alone, that allows me to get to know myself better and just make more intentional choices with how I live my life. I have also seen an increase in creativity and productivity, because when I spend time on my own, that allows my mind to think freely and just get new ideas. I also feel like my relationships has improved dramatically, because now I can actually connect with people in a more genuine way and not be dependent on other people and not be in relationships with other people because of neediness and this feeling of wanting to be with other people all the time. And yeah, that leads me to, I would say, one of the most important points of this video today. I believe that if you want to learn how to deal with loneliness, the first and most important step that you need to take is that you need to learn how to be in your own company, being alone for extended periods of time. You only have one person in your life that is always going to be there, and that person is you. And that means that you kind of have to develop a relationship with yourself where you actually enjoy your own company and you can be on your own for extended periods of time without feeling lonely doing so. And if you don't have this ability to be alone, there is a pretty high chance that you will spend the majority of your life with people who are not good for you and being in relationships that negatively impact you. And you really have to get to a point where you are always able to step away from a bad relationship if that is what you need to do. And if you are not comfortable being in your own company, that is just, very difficult to actually go ahead and do. It is a difficult decision to make if the thought of being by yourself is something that scares you and is overwhelming to you. I believe that it's always better to be on your own than it is to be in a bad relationship. And it is actually okay to stand up for yourself and walk away if that is what you think is the best for you and your life going forward. You have to understand that you cannot control the world and other people around you, but you are always 100% in control of your thoughts and your actions. You can always choose how you want to react, but you can never control how other people choose to treat you. Also, you cannot control what is going on in the world, but you can always control what you choose to think about it, what you choose to say about it, and what you choose to actually do about it. And it is just really important to understand the difference between things that you can't control and the things that you can control, and then do something about the things in your life that you can actually control. And one thing in your life that you can always control is the relationship that you have with yourself. And you have to get to a point where you actually enjoy spending time with yourself. And I like to think about it like, what is an ideal friend to me? And how can I be like that towards myself? So that means that I have to be honest towards myself. I have to be kind towards myself. I have to be forgiving towards myself. I have to treat my body and mind with respect and take care of it. I also have to be, like an encouraging person towards myself. I have to believe in myself and my own abilities and talk positively to myself about what I want to achieve, and just say to myself that if you want to achieve this, you are good enough and you can actually do it, and just go ahead and try. And the worst thing that can happen is that you fail, but then if you fail, just get up and you can try again. It's like, that is what you would say to your best friend, and that is also what you should be saying to yourself. And I guarantee that if you treat yourself like this, and if you are kind towards yourself, you can quickly learn how to be at peace in your own company, and you can quickly learn how to be alone for extended periods of time without feeling lonely. In my opinion, it really is as simple as that. But then, however, on the other side, if you are always mean to yourself, if you always critique yourself, if you never forgive yourself for the mistakes that you make, if you treat your body bad with like smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol excessively, and if you tell yourself that you will never amount to anything, and if you, spend all your spare time watching Netflix and scrolling TikTok and doing things that really are not good for you, I can also guarantee you that this will do, if that is the case, you will do absolutely everything that you can to avoid spending any time with yourself, because that will force you to actually think about your life choices. And that is not an ideal situation to be in. In my opinion, that is the type of life that you will regret when you get older. And I think it comes down to the fact that you have to try and become a good person. You have to know deep down inside of yourself that you are trying to your best. Of course, you don't have to be perfect, like nobody is perfect, but if you know within yourself that you are trying hard and you are doing your best to become a better version of yourself, and you're getting, stronger or more intelligent, or like working harder with every day that goes by, that is just a great feeling, and that is something that makes it easier to spend time alone and feel good about it. And it is about all the small things, actually. It is about waking up early when your alarm goes off and not snoozing in the morning. It's about eating the food that you know is good for you. It's about reading books that inspire you, spending time with people who treat you right. It's also about just, cleaning your environment, like making sure your surroundings are relaxing and inspiring, and also try to be as nice towards the people that you meet along the way as possible. And for me, I have this, I don't know if it is like a mental trick that I play on myself, where I pretend that I am the main character in a movie. So that means that I pretend that there is always an audience watching my every move, and that helps me make better decisions in like everyday situations, because I feel like there's always someone watching me, judging everything that I do. And it's a nice trick if you're in a situation and you're thinking, should I do the correct thing or should I do the incorrect thing? You are more likely to do the correct thing if you imagine like a whole cinema theater watching what you're about to do. So that means that, basically I'm trying to be a good person even when no one is watching. And of course, I'm not perfect. I also make mistakes, but I know that I'm trying my best. And that is, as I said before, that is all you can do. And it's a good feeling, and it makes it easier to spend time in your own company when you feel good about the person that you are and that the person you are trying to become. What I have also learned is that loneliness is very often the result of internal factors rather than being the result of external things going on around in the world. And by that I mean that if you live in a big city, for example, and you're always surrounded by people and colleagues and someone you hang out with, it is possible, even though you are surrounded by people all the time, to feel lonely. But then on the other hand, you can also be completely by yourself out in nature in total solitude and feel very content and happy and at peace. I have also noticed that I tend to feel more lonely when I do things that don't align with my own values. For example, I remember when I was younger and I would go out and drink in like an attempt to deal with my loneliness, because back then I wasn't able to spend time on my own without feeling uncomfortable about it. So I would, join other people and go out and drink, and even though I was surrounded by a lot of people and even though I was out like having fun, I would still feel quite lonely doing so. And I think that it's because deep down I knew that I really didn't want to be there, but I was just doing it in an attempt to deal with the feeling of being lonely. And I quickly realized that it was not working at all for me. And I have since then learned from that, and I have stopped putting myself in situations like that. And now, instead of like going out on the weekends and trying to hook up with some drinking buddies, I now see the weekends and all my spare time as like an opportunity to try and improve my life. And what I have realized is that if I'm living in alignment with my values, and if I know that I'm making progress towards my most important goals in life, I almost never feel lonely. If I am working on this YouTube channel, or if I'm working out, if I'm reading a book, if I'm at home going to bed early on a Friday night after a hard Muay Thai training, I don't feel lonely in those situations because I'm content and happy with my own company, and I know that I'm doing the right thing. So it's just interesting to note that going out with a lot of people and drinking, if that doesn't align with your values, that can actually make you feel lonely. And now I would say that I am in a place in my life where I feel extremely comfortable being alone and spending extended periods of time just being by myself. And I feel like I always have my own best friend inside of my head that I can rely on and that I can trust on and that I can have like a good time with. And I think it's just one of the most important skills that I have learned in my life, and I really want to encourage you to try and develop this ability, because it really is life-changing when you have your own best friend inside of your head that you can always trust and rely on. It just makes life better, and it makes life a whole lot easier, and I can highly recommend that you work towards that as a goal. And then I also want to make it absolutely clear that, of course, isolation from other people, that is never the end goal. Once you learn how to be comfortable being in your own company, now it's time for you to go out into the world and find some people and enjoy life with. I believe in having a few very good friends that you can trust and rely on, and of course also having a partner that you can go through life with. That is something that is, I would say, the ultimate goal, but it's difficult to get there, I would say, if you don't learn how to be alone without feeling lonely first. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. This was, of course, just me sharing my experience, and I'm no expert or like coach or psychologist or anything like that. This is just what have worked for me, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of all of this? And are you doing anything to try and improve your own relationships towards yourself, so that being alone is easier to do? Let me know in the comments down below. I think this is a very interesting subject, and I would just love to hear what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.